Medellin, Colombia. It's one of the most beautiful cities in Latin America. Amazing weather, stunning views, and yes, gorgeous women. But if you're planning to visit, especially as a man coming here to date women, you need to move different. In this video, I'm breaking down how to stay safe in Medellin, focusing on two key areas: how not to get robbed in the streets, and how not to get robbed by your date. Now, I want to start by saying Medellin's a great city. The people that live there, in general, they're great people. Most of them are not out to hurt you, but the ones that are out to hurt you, they know where to look to find you. So that's why you got to be extra diligent out there. There's people out there that are looking specifically for tourists. Over the past few years since I've been visiting, I've noticed that the sentiment has been changing towards tourists. A lot of locals are telling me that they're being priced out of the neighborhoods that they grew up in, since there's so many gringos coming in and paying whatever for rent that they just can't afford locally. Also, I've seen stories of gringos coming out here and doing wild shit like exploiting minors and things like that, and that gets put on the news and puts a stain on all the other tourists that come out here. So overall, I'd say gringos aren't winning in 2025 in Medellin. First up, let's talk about the streets. Medellin's not a war zone, but just like any major city, especially in Latin America, it has its dangers, especially if you're moving careless. The two biggest threats that you face as a tourist in Medellin is getting robbed in the street, which is either pickpocketed or held at knife or gunpoint. The second main threat is getting robbed by a woman that you're trying to date, which in most cases, they use a drug called scopolamine, which pretty much puts you to sleep, but also you're kind of coherent enough to just do whatever they say. Pretty much you don't want this to happen to you. So the first thing I'm going to break down for you is getting robbed in the street, because that's a lot more simple. Pretty much these rules would go for anywhere in South America, but first thing, you got to be aware of your surroundings. Don't walk around with your head looking down into your phone the whole time, or walk around holding your camera like this the whole time, even though I do that, but I'm out here recording videos. But you still want to avoid having your phone out and just being distracted. If you're walking through big crowds, I always like to keep my hands near my pocket if I'm walking through a tight crowd, so I know that I'm not getting pickpocketed. I can feel my keys, my wallet, my phone. Now, if you do see somebody that looks sketchy, make eye contact with them. Let them know that you're aware of their presence. That way, they can't sneak up on you. In the wild, when there's a predator, when they're going after their prey, they use the element of surprise. When that element of surprise is taken, they lose a lot of their ability to do what they wanted to do. Like, they can't run up and just snatch your phone and run. That's probably what they're going to want to do most of the time. They're not going to want to face off in public with a knife or a gun. So if you're aware of your surroundings and you're making people aware that you're aware of your surroundings, the odds of something happening to you is a lot lower. Next thing, famous phrase in Medellin is "don't give papaya," which pretty much means don't flex. If you're wearing flashy jewelry, designer clothes, and you got the latest iPhone out in every public spot, you're asking to get targeted. Keep it low key. You're here to enjoy, not to impress strangers. So necklaces, like jewelry, you don't really gotta wear that stuff. If you are gonna wear that stuff, I would say get an Uber from your Airbnb directly to whatever restaurant or club you're going to. Spend as little time in the street as possible while you're wearing that stuff. If you're gonna go out and walk around at night, just leave that stuff at the crib. Another thing, use Uber to move around. Avoid public transportation. So there's really no reason for you to get on the metro. That's a hot spot for where you could possibly get robbed. Stay off of that, and don't get in a taxi that's not an Uber or not an in-driver. Like, make sure there's some type of app or some type of security that lets you know who the driver is. You don't want to get in the car with somebody, like you're with a girl and she tells you, I can get us a taxi and they'll be out here in a couple minutes. Like, nah. I'm gonna get the Uber, because you never know what she's up to. She might be having somebody that one of her homeboys come and pretend to be a taxi, and really they're gonna drive you to God knows where and steal all your shit. Stay in the Uber. Third tip, stick to the safe neighborhoods. That's El Poblado, that's Laureles. If you want to get a little bit more out of town, I'd say Sabaneta, Itagüí, Envigado. But stay away from El Centro. And also, unless it's your first time there, I really don't recommend going to Parque Lleras either. If you're a thief and you're looking to find gringos to rob in Medellin, Colombia, you're going to be looking in parqueyetas because that's where they're at. So really the only thing in parqueyetas is overpriced drinks and girls selling cheeks. Now let's talk about dating. That's the main reason a lot of brothers come out here to Medellin. But if you're not careful, that dream girl can turn into a nightmare real quick. Now the first thing when you're dating in Medellin, you want to set up your infrastructure, your logistics, to keep you as safe as possible. So what that means is the hotel or the Airbnb that you're at, make sure that they have a doorman down at the bottom that's 24 hours, that's keeping track of who comes in and out of the building. So if you bring a girl in there and she has to sign her name and show her passport to the doorman, it's way less likely that she's going to feel the need or being dumb enough to scope you whenever her ID has been photocopied downstairs. Also, benefit of having a doorman, if you build a little rapport with him, let him know. If you're going to have a girl in there that you're not really sure about, before she comes, tell him like, hey, I'm having somebody here. Don't let her leave without me. I'm going to come down and leave with her whenever she leaves. So make that understood, and she shouldn't be able to sneak out on you. Another thing, be careful with your drinks. So this pretty much goes without saying, but since scopolamine is one of the main drugs that's used out there to take advantage of men, that's something that can be slipped in your drink, and it's something that can be blown in your face. So, but the main thing is them slipping it in your drink. So don't leave your drink unattended, and that includes whenever you bring the girl to your apartment. Now, I think a lot of people are confused about my message on Tinder in Medellin, Colombia. I'm not going to tell you not to get on Tinder in Medellin, Colombia. I do it. It's just the quality of women on there is not what it used to be, and every time I get back on there, it's worse. Like, at least half the women are trying to sell coochie, and if there's people that are going to try to scopolamine you and they're looking for tourists, that's where they're going to go. They're going to go on Tinder, and they're going to go to parqueyetas. And so I try to avoid those things. To be honest, looking for women in Medellin, Colombia, Tinder's not really your best bet. You're much better off getting on Instagram. And that way you're finding girls that aren't really looking for you. And when you have their Instagram, you have like, you can see who their friends are, you can see their name. Sometimes they have family pictures. So like if something was to happen, you could tell the police like, this is who it was. If all you got is her Tinder, she could just take you off of there and then she's gone without a trace. So yeah, if you're going to use Tinder, just be very careful. The first time they mention money or any type of red flag, report them. Don't just unmatch them. Report them so they get kicked off for the next gringo so that they don't have to deal with that stuff. Pay it forward. If you want to know exactly how to use Instagram to find women out there, I got a whole guide on it on my Patreon. It's a 40-something minute guide, so I'm not really going to go through that on this video. But just go to my Patreon. I'll put a link down on the bottom. That guy pretty much tells you where to find them, what to say to them, how to get them on the date, and a whole bunch of red flags to look for and conversation tips. So check that out on the Patreon. We need to read between the lines with these women. If they're super excited to get straight to your apartment or straight to the crib, like, that's a red flag. I know you might think that because you're from America that women are just going to be jumping in your bed, but it don't really work like that. So be smart. Don't let these women fool you, because the women out here in Colombia, they can play, they got game too. So and they know they're bad. It's not no secret. Meet the girl in public first. If you watch my videos, I always go out to eat with them first, so I can sit there and talk to them for a little bit, see what their vibe is, see if they actually have genuine interest or if they're just trying to rush back to the apartment or something like that. Like, you really got to move different out here. I know it might sound like you don't want to put that work in, you don't want to put the time in to take them out, like especially if she's trying to get to the crib and she says she's trying to give you what you want, but it's Medellin, Colombia, man. Gotta move different. Look, I love Medellin. I've had some amazing experiences here. But part of being a smart traveler is you gotta know the rules of the game. Don't be an easy target in these streets. Don't fall for chasing a fantasy. Move smart and protect yourself, and you'll have a lot better time. If you found this helpful, hit that like button and subscribe for more real travel tips, dating game, and just how to move smart around cities in the world. And if you have any experiences in Medellin, Colombia, drop a comment. If you plan on going, drop a comment. Let me know what you think. Let me know what your experiences were, and I'll see you on the next video.